What is poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the Cheap Seats. As always, I am your co-host, Eddie Benhin, and join with me is my match day officer, or co-match day officer, the one and only Brandon Adibe. How's it going, buddy?
Great.
So what's the Cheap Seats for the people who don't know?
Well, if you missed the first episode, we just started this pretty cool new show. It's called The Cheap Seats, and we're out here in the section dub on match days, but we decided for all the people who weren't there or want some more information before the next match, come over here. We're going to let you know what's going on, who's in, who's out, who we're playing against, what's going down at TD Place, and also we have some football beef at times, so we decided to make it a bit entertaining for you guys and let you know what's going down.
But since the last home game, Ottawa has been on the road. Our first game was against York, which we dropped 2-0. Brandon, what happened in that game?
So you see 2-0 and you think, oh, we got dispatched, but we were actually controlling the game. But the problem was we didn't bring our finishing boots that day. And we had at least 4 one-on-one chances. We squandered all of them. And then York, as they should, came back, scored 2 times in the second half, and we lost.
Seems to be the story of the season.
But again, story of the season, as you say, there was a red card, which it's been a while since I've seen a red card so diabolical, because it wasn't even his fault. I mean, it was, but the ref absolutely dropped the ball because he was already on a yellow card for a soft foul, and then in the 94th minute, someone gets fouled in the corner, and then he pulls out a second yellow for encroachment on a free kick, and then didn't even realize he was on his second yellow. The fourth official had to come back and say, is that Higgins that you gave it to? You have to send him off now because you gave him 2 soft yellows in the 94th minute. The game didn't even play right after that, so we could have just done without it. But that's enough of the rant from me.
You know, this wouldn't be an Analytical Ottawa show without us complaining about the referees, but it's not our fault, I promise. Just get better refs, CSA. Come on. Anyways, moving on to the next game. Ottawa traveled over out west to Victoria Island to face Pacific. And you look at the result, it was 1-1, and you thinking, hey, we just stole a point from the best team in the league. No. We literally dropped points. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we dropped points against this team. We took the lead early in the game, and we're in this. Second half comes, Pacific makes some changes, brings on some good players. They start dominating. We start playing Park the Bus. And we were holding on until the 86th minute when we conceded again. Now, I say we dropped points because we did no changes. We did nothing to counter Pacific. Pacific brought in new players, and we did not bring on any subs. We didn't change our tactics. I think we made 2 subs the entire game. We brought in Tevin Shaw, and we brought on McCure, I think. And McCure was because Soto was injured in the stoppage time. You're not going to win games when you can't make tactical changes, all right? This reminds me of Lampard, Arteta, Ole. Manage the game, and we'll get points. But that's your recap for what happened in between the shows. Now time to talk about the upcoming game. Brandon, set it up for us.
So this upcoming game is going down on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't ask me for Central and Western. Y'all are on your own. But it's going to be going down at Lansdowne. TD Place is the place to be on Saturday. Atletico Ottawa is taking on Calgary from Calgary. This season, we've won 1 against them. We've lost 1 against them. So Calgary is in second place. They're looking for 3 points to chase down Pacific. And we're sadly still in last, but we got all to play for.
So we have a 2-1 record all time against Calgary.
Yes.
So, see, Atletico Ottawa, there's always that one team where no matter how bad you are, you just keep beating them. So I'm not saying we're going to win, but I'm saying there's a good potential in this. We do need to say this, that now moving forward, and it's going to be on Saturday, proof of vaccination will be required at TD Place, so make sure you have that on your phone. Of course, the day we're recording this, vaccination passports and proof of that all start in Ontario, so this shouldn't be brand new news, but make sure you have that with you at the game. But Brandon, like you said, we are currently 1-1 this season against Calgary, but we are actually 2-1 all time. You think this is going to continue, or you think that was just a lucky fluke for Ottawa?
Right now, we are an attacking threat, and you can never count out Atletico Ottawa, especially in Ottawa because any game against any team have fancy yard chances. You never can count us out. It's a 0-0 game until we score. So be in the stands. There's quite a few promotions going on. $5 tickets, $5 hot dogs, $5 polos. You got to be there.
I have a question though. So obviously the marketing poll and what we've been saying is that TD Place was a fortress, right? We were undefeated for a while. All of a sudden we've lost the past 2 games at home. Should we be worried, or is this something we just brush off to the side?
Should we be worried?
It's an honest question.
I'm gonna have to borrow a little verse from a rapper. He might be a philosopher on his spare time, and it goes something like this: I don't worry about nothing.
I ain't worried about nothing. I ain't worried about nothing.
You know, so there's nothing to be worried about because we're still in this. It's a long season. Anything could happen on a match-to-match basis. Eddie, do you have a problem? Like,
no, I agree with you. I mean, come on. We lost 1-0 at home. We lost 2-1 on a last-minute kick on Halifax. The games are still entertaining. We're always in it. We're literally just a kick away from getting 3 points. And there's no reason to be worried. TD Place is still a fortress, especially with Section W there. The best section in the entire damn league. But now that we set up the game for you guys, it is time to get into some segments. And we're going to start off with a new one called Who's In and Who's Out. Now, for this segment, I got to bring out the papers because it's a long list. So, first off, Mannella, Acosta, Verhoeven. They're out. Suspended. Yellow card accumulation. Yellow card. Perfect. Now, Telfer is back, finally. And Higgins is back, which is good news. However, going back to the yellow card accumulation, so Tevin Shaw, Kapoor, and Telfer are all 1 yellow card away from being suspended again. Tevin Shaw has 7 yellow cards this season. If he gets 1 more, he's going to be suspended for 2 games. Like we said, discipline was an issue. I didn't know it was this big of an issue. Yeah, that's something to look out for. Over on the injury side, though, Drew Becky is still out with the current heart condition he has. Neufville, he's injured. He's been injured for the entire season. I don't know when he's going to come back or if he is. And, of course, Brandon John has been out for the rest of the season. But that is the news for who's in, who's out. Hopefully, that's it.
Hear that? It's a halftime whistle. So we're going to take a break.
So, of course, with Ryan Telfer coming back, I think it's safe to assume that he's going to slot into the starting lineup, meaning that we're going to have a new 3 players to choose between start, bench, and sub. And before I give you those 3 players, I just want to say the last time we recorded this, before the Halifax game, I said Tevin Shaw was going to start. You said Mannella, and looks like I was right. So maybe people should start listening to me. But I'll give you another chance to I'll give you another chance. This week, you got to choose between Sean-Claude Lawson, Malcolm Shaw, and Brian Wright. Start, bench, sub, go.
Well, you said he should have started in the Halifax game. We didn't get the win. But when Mannella started against Pacific in games later,
you can cry about last week. You can cry about last episode. You can cry later. This week, start, bench, sub. It's got to be between the 3 men up front. Right now, Sean-Claude Lawson has been reintroduced to the squad. He's going to be one of them. Brian Wright, who scored in the past game against Pacific. And then we're going to go with Malcolm Shaw, top 5 in the league for goal scoring. This is not easy because you have 2 verified goal scorers. And you have Sean-Claude Lawson, who has been playing well, but he hasn't got a goal in him yet. But who's to say he won't score at home? So I'm going to have to go with at striker, starting out in the number 9 position. I'm going to go with Brian Wright. Ooh, geez, start okay.
I got a chant ready for him when he scores, so he better repay me. And then to be brought on as a sub, you got to go with Malcolm Shaw. You can't have a game where you're not playing Malcolm Shaw.
That's fair.
And then Sean-Claude Lawson, as well as he's been doing, he hasn't scored yet. He's going to be on the bench for me.
That's fair. Now, before anyone overreacts saying, why do we just start all three of them? Well, we already know Soto and Nunez are going to be up there, or who knows, maybe even Uche will be up there. So this is why we're doing this. But anyways, looks like, Brandon, you and I are going to have different opinions again, because I'm starting Malcolm Shaw, Brian Wright as a sub. Lawson, he's my guy. I want to see him succeed, but in terms of this segment, you got to be in the bench. I just haven't seen enough yet to be able to bench Wright or Malcolm Shaw over him. I'm saying Malcolm Shaw starting because he is in the Golden Boot race. He has a lot of goals in him. Brian Wright, yes, scores, but he scores
He's on form.
He scores on every 7 shots, right? And we need clinical. Malcolm Shaw goal percentage is a lot higher than Brian Wright. And if I need someone to score a goal, I'm putting my trust in Malcolm Shaw. Brian Wright will come on and hopefully score as a sub. But in terms of this, Malcolm Shaw starting. You heard it from me first. Brandon, you're going to be wrong again.
That's incorrect because I got my lucky charms in today. I already know what's going down on Saturday.
All right, then let's move on to the next segment. Who's going to be a standout player for ATO? Last week, you said Nunez. I said Soto. Yes, I said Soto's going to get a goal and assist, and he did not. We were both wrong. I think the standout player was Malcolm Shaw that week. So let's just completely forget about that week. It's a new one. Who is going to be the standout player this game?
Well, it's hard to argue. If we want to win, we're going to need goals. And for that exact reason, I'm going with Dylan Pally because he's keeping us in this game. We're going to win this game with saves from Dylan Pally, the best dressed player in the whole of the Canadian Premier League.
That's a bold statement. Of course, Pally was man of the match Pacific with a crazy amount of saves. He kept Ottawa in that game. Dylan Pally, that's not a bad shout. I'm going with Sharknado himself, Malcolm Shaw. He's going to bag goals. He's going to get a brace. I keep putting these predictions out. Okay, let's not make, screw it.
You said it.
Brace.
You said it.
One of these times is going to be right. He's going to get a brace, 2 goals. Malcolm Shaw is going to be back in that Golden Boot race. He's going to be the standout player for Atletico Ottawa. Mark that down. I'm finally going to be right. But now, for the ultimate, the final segment of this week's episode, it is time for the score predictions. I will say last week I said 2-1 Atletico Ottawa. It was 2-1 Halifax. Brandon, you said 1-0 Atletico. Come on now.
I love my squad.
Come on now. I'll give you another chance, but a clean sheet with Atletico Ottawa defense. What is your score prediction? Atletico Ottawa, Cavalry, 4:30 p.m. Saturday Eastern. Need vaccination passport required. What's your score for that game?
I'm going to say it with my chest, with the CCSG on my chest, Atletico Ottawa will win by a scoreline of 2-0.
Ah, you took my score prediction.
Girls,
okay.
and everyone in between.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you have a miraculous moment here where we actually finally agreed on something. I'm going 2-0. Both times we've been in Cavalry, we've won 2-0. So I'm just going to go with the mathematical historical trends. 2-0, Malcolm Shaw brace, Dylan Pally clean sheet, and then we got to figure out who was right for the standout player. But this was this week's episode of The Cheap Seats, where we hype up the game at hand. Of course, on halftime on Saturday, check out our Twitter for a live stream hosted by Thomas. He's gonna, take you through the first half, hype you up for the second half, and at the end of the game, a couple days later, check out Capital City ATO After the Whistle podcast, hosted by Thomas Stockton and Johnny MacArthur. It's gonna be a live show from the bar. Maybe Brandon will be on it. Who knows? But there's a lot of content for Capital City. You can find it all on capitalcitysupporters.com. If you're not already, join as a member so you don't miss out on anything. And of course, by the time you're watching this, we will have done an interview with Chris Mannella. So if you want to watch it, go check it out. It will be down in the description. But for now, vamos Atleti. We'll see you guys on the next home game. Peace.